Hi, welcome to question 7 of the Leaving Cert Ordinary Level, Paper 1 in 2021. If you want to copy these notes, just send me an email at shanetroy@gmail.com. And if you like these videos, hit the subscribe button to get access to more playlists. So question 7 here is a tax question, which can be challenging, but also if you click with what's happening or you're good with percentages, can be a really good way of getting top marks. So the rates and thresholds of the Universal Social Charge, the USC in Ireland, and excluding the top rate, okay, whatever that means, during 2020 are given in the table below. Standard rates and thresholds for USC 2020 is the title of the table. If your income is for the first 12,000 whatever, you pay 0.5%. The next 8,472, you pay 2%. The next 49,560, you pay 4.5%. And if you earn over those three amounts, you earn something, or you pay something on the rest. Okay, and we don't actually know what that top rate is. So hate the USC, but it's banded, which makes it more complicated. I remember when I was younger, there wasn't the USC, and just working at your tax was just easier. You didn't have so many steps, and that those rates can change every budget and stuff. So it's important to have an understanding of what USC and what tax is, and it's just a percentage of your earnings. Again, each country does their own thing. Anyway, part A there says, at what level of annual income does a worker start paying the top rate of USC? Now that's here, okay? So we don't know what that is yet, but we said it earlier, it's the accumulation of all those three. So we just have to add them. So it's 12,012 plus 8472 plus 49,560. I have the answer here on the next page. That comes out to me as 70,000 euro and 44. Okay, so that seems legit. It's a big amount. Now, it's important to show this calculation because imagine if I hadn't the calculation and I wrote down the answer and it was wrong. It's 0 marks. Wrong answer, no work shown, 0. If I've shown the calculation I was doing and then had a wrong answer, like it's just going to be assumed it's an arithmetic error, which isn't the biggest penalty in the world. Okay, so that's important. That's clear. Look, no harm spelling out what your answer is. Now, part B then says, how much USC will a worker have paid in total if they pay the maximum amount due at each of the first three rates? Okay, so in essence, they're saying if a person pays all the USC they have to pay at this level, and this level, and this level, what is that amount? So there's a bit to go here, okay? We need to find out, first of all, well, what's 0.5% of 12,012? Now, 0.5%, okay, is the same thing as 0.5 over 100. Now, put that through the calculator, you see, that's the same thing as 0.005, okay? So there's different ways of doing this. I'm going to do it the way I probably would. So 12,012 multiplied by 0.5% is equal to what? Then 8472, I should put the percent in so I don't forget, multiplied by 2% is equal to something. And then 49,560 by 4.5% is equal to something else. Once I know what those three numbers are, I can add them together, and that's the maximum amount. Now, just no harm practicing calculator work here. So if I can get the calculator up. Now, in this one here, okay, so I have 12,012. I'm multiplying that by 0.5%. Now, the percent button on this calculator is down here in the bottom on the second function. So 12,012 by 0.5 is equal to, now it's a fraction, 60.06. Okay, so let's record that. Now, I could do that a different way. Like I said a minute ago, I wouldn't necessarily do this myself. I could go 0.5 over 100. Okay, that's what 0.5% is. I get the same answer. Okay, or I could choose, if I'm very comfortable with my decimal, to convert that to 0.005. Press that through. It's the same number. So it's the same answer either way. It's just understanding that percent is per 100. It's a unitless figure to just give it as an illustration for, and we're so used to it that we take it for granted. But it's just a way of representing that's more intuitive to a human brain as such. Now, if I do the same thing and I have the answers here, let's go straight to the answer. Okay, save time. Just it's the grunt work of doing the calculations, and I got 169.44 for the second band and the third band, and then just added those three figures together. Okay, and I got the answer of 2459.7. Okay, so 10 marks, decent chunk. It's a 10D scale, so it's broken up into more bands. So, if you get any way along, if you're not, and I would say, if you're not sure what to do, let's say you're sitting looking at that and going, I have no clue. You know what? Why not find 0.5%? Why not just find something, multiply something by something else? Okay. It may or may not, usually it will, be considered a correct relevant step on the path to getting the answer. Now, in the next one here, we have, I'm going to leave the answer up because even though it might be a bit confusing, just work along with me. John's annual income is 54,800. Find the amount of UC he will pay. So we know from up here that on the first 12,012, he has to pay 60 euro, whatever. On the next bit, he has to pay 169.44. Now, he doesn't earn 49,560. More than that, okay? So this amount here is what we're looking for. And then we just add all three. So that's what I've written here. The 12,000 by 5% is that, okay? And the 8472 by 2% is that. I don't necessarily need to because they're given in the previous part. I'm just trying to do it to be obvious. Now we need to know what is the balance of money he earns. So his total salary is 54,800. Take away the 8472, okay, and take away the 12,000. And that comes out to me as 24,316. Now, he owes 4.5% of that number. And that's what I'm finding down below. So the 34316 by 4.5% gives me a figure of 1544.22. So he owes a bit above 1,500 euro on the balance. Now, his total amount of UC is the 60.06. I have it written the wrong way around. That's the 60.06, the 0.5%, the 2%, and the 4.5%. I've actually written them the wrong way around up here. Just might be confusing. Hopefully it's not. And that comes out to me a figure of 1773.72. And again, like the previous part, it's a D scale. So if you get any way along the grade, you're going to have a decent chance of getting a good answer, okay, or a good grade from it. And that's that. Now we'll move on to part D. Okay, so it says Mary pays this amount of money in USC in 2020. Find her annual income. So we have to basically backwork it. Now, looking at it there, the first thing I would do is 1602.72. And from that, I'm going to take away, let me just flick back. It was 60.06. So take away 60.06 and then take away from that 169.44. 169.44. Okay, I could do the two separate sums. I'll just use the calculator. 1602.72 take 60.06 take 169.44. Now I have it done on the next page. So that's 1373.22. So 1373.22. Now that represents the amount. So if the 49,000, let me remember what it is, 560, okay, by 4.5% gives you the amount of USC you owe. We worked out what that is, but we don't know that figure, okay. Normally, we would say that the person owes, I think it's 2,230 was what that figure was. But this number isn't 49,560. Okay, we're looking for this number. So I'm going to replace that with X. Okay, X by 4.5%. Now we know that she pays 1373.22. So this is looking weird, but some amount of money by 4.5% gives this amount. We found this amount by taking away the USC at 0.5% and 2% from the amount of USC she has to pay. Hope that makes sense. That's fairly high level stuff in a way, you know. Now, the way to solve this, 4.5% is a number. It's 0.045, okay? Or 4.5 over 100, whatever way you want to say it. But that's being multiplied by x. So if I want to get rid of it, okay, I can bring it across, okay, and it divides into the far side. Now that looks weird, okay, but just let's do the calculator work of it. So x is equal to that fraction there, 1373.2. 2, actually. Yeah, that's right. And the bottom is my 4.5%. I got to put it in as 4.5 and use the second function of percent. So the calculator knows that number is not 4.5, it's 4.5 divided by 100, which ultimately is 0.045. Okay, press equal. I got 30,516. Okay, so my x value is 30,516. Does this pass the smell test? Like it would be a significant amount of money. She's paying a lot of USC. Okay, so it wouldn't be like 5,000. You're talking the person's earning not too far away from the guy who on the last page. Okay, but if you notice there, her salary of 30,000 is less than the 54,800, but that person was paying more USC. Okay, like in total, what 1773, as opposed to her 1602. But, yeah. Now I've just realised that doesn't pass the smell test. Okay, and I've lost marks here. I've probably gotten the 8. What I've forgotten to do is this is not her full salary. Okay, her full salary is 3,516 plus the 8,000 and whatever. Okay, 8,472 plus the 12,012. Okay, because that's what those two amounts were. They weren't being included in the 3,000 figure. Now that would be 51,000. Okay, 51,000 euro is her salary. What gave me the clue there was when I saw the 1602, I was like, God, that's okay. And I thought your man's salary in the past one was much lower, but then I realized that 1773 isn't that far away from 1602. Okay, so 30,516 versus 54,000, there seemed to be a mismatch. And it'll give me a second to look back and go, actually, I didn't remember these last two bits here. So I fixed that. Okay, 51,000 isn't that far off your man's 54,800. It is lower, okay, which is why the USC for this lady, Mary, is lower. So again, now it makes sense to me. My bad in the sense that I should read the question more carefully, or when I'm putting my answer through, put it through and think, does this number make logical sense? Okay. In this case, it didn't, and that's why I copped that I was making an error. Now it says here, Patrick has an annual income of 83,000. Okay, he pays a total of 3,496 euros 18 cents in USC. Find the top rate of USC. Now I'm going to go to the answer on the next page because it's harder to write it out because there's a fair number of things going on here. I'm trying to get some marks here. It's a 15D scale. So if I can get 4.7, for something like this, if I'm not good at tax questions, that's not bad. Okay. So we know from previous work that up to the top rate, you're paying 60 euro, 169 and 2,000 whatever in euro. So in total, you're paying 2,459.7. Now this person's paying 3,496. So there's a difference there. Now the difference between them, I worked out there as 1,036.48. Now at that rate, even just by finding that number, you're most likely at 7. I'd have to look at the scheme exactly. Because you're showing that you have a certain amount of knowledge. You know that that's the amount of extra USC they're paying beyond what the information you've been given is. Now we know that to get to that point, okay, if you add the 3 salaries, this is what we got in the previous part, it's 70,044. Okay, that amount corresponds to this USC. Now, the difference in the salary between that maximum of the bands we're given, to take them away, 83,000 take away the 70,044, I got 12,956. So we know that this person pays, okay, on that amount, 12,956, they pay a percentage of that, and that equals 1,036. We're looking there for X percent. Now, the fast way of doing this, if I bring this, I want X on its own. I bring the 12956 across the equal. Okay. Now, I've mixed it around there, but it ends up being this. Okay. Calculation. And then I do that in the calculator, and I got 0.08 is equal to X percent. Now, to turn that into a number, I'm multiplying both sides by 100, but that gives me basically 8%. So they're paying 8% of that last amount in extra USC. Does that pass the smell test? Okay. Well, 0.5 to 4.5. So the top rate is, it's more. Okay. So there's some logic there. And that's it. Okay. So it seems to make sense. Now that's fairly complicated. But again, like I said, if you can get 4-7 marks from this by including even the previous answer, just thinking it through. Your man here earns a crap ton of money. Okay. So he pays a lot of USC. That's fair enough. Now we know how much USC pays up to a certain point. So if you can show that, literally directly show that on the page, even just putting the numbers down from the previous answers, like if you just wrote down 2459.7 and nothing else on that page, okay, that would probably get you 4 marks. If you use that in some way, okay, so I did it here by taking the amount of USC we know he pays from the total that this person actually pays, I'd most certainly be on the 7, okay, potentially on the 11. Okay, and then the last bit there is just trying to actually use the algebra to find the missing percent. So maybe that probably 7 if I stopped there, 11 if I got this point, and 15 if I got to here with no error. Now I think that's the end of question 7. So if you want to copy the notes I'm working off, just send an email to shanetroy@gmail.com. And as always, if you like these videos, hit the subscribe button to get access to more playlists. Thanks very much.